there was no day that you turn on the radio that you will not hear the track Knock Me Up by Plantashun Boiz being played on the radio. It was just so big, it was that big.
Yeah, yeah, you are my African queen. Ooh, Lord, just like the sun, light up the earth, you light up my life.
Hello everyone, I welcome you back to this channel, Everyday Documentary. And this is the channel where we highlight and celebrate notable everyday achievers in sports, entertainment, arts, history, literature, media, politics, and everything in between. And on today's episode, we will be celebrating Two-Face Idibia. What did I say? Two Baba. Yes, so nothing they happen, nothing they happen. Yeah, for those who are familiar with Two-Face Idibia, the music legend in Nigeria, you will have been accustomed to these sayings of his that I just mentioned earlier. Yes, so he loves saying yes, so and nothing they happen, or one love. Yes, so nothing they happen, one love. Yeah, that's Two-Face Idibia. I know that there's been so much going on in and around the life of Two-Face Idibia in the last 2 to 3 weeks regarding his marital life, how it appears he's getting separated from his wife that we all knew him with for many years now, for decades now, Annie Idibia or Annie Macaulay. But like it is our custom on this channel, no matter how much of controversies or negative trends that a personality's life might be attached with or attributed or might be getting attributed to, we do not like to jump on such controversies or negative trends and begin to drag it furthermore or further analyze or dissect them in a negative light, but rather we focus on the positivities that surround their lives, the attainments that they have had in the past, or very commendable and notable things that they still do at present. That's what we decide to focus on Everyday Documentary. So for this reason, we are going to be celebrating Two-Face Idibia today. So stay tuned as we celebrate this musical legend properly. Welcome back. Yes, to continue in our celebration of Two-Face Idibia, I'm going to be taking us back to the days when Two-Face Idibia started his musical career singing in a group called the Plantashun Boiz. I know many of the millennials today, even the boomers, will definitely remember that period between the late 90s and the early 2000s when Two-Face sang in that group called Plantashun Boiz. Yeah, somebody say Plantashun Boiz. That was one of the popular songs produced by Plantashun Boiz back in the day, but the most popular one is titled Knock Me Up. Yeah, you got me on mama, yeah, I match you all the time. Oh, way they do me, baby, way can't you see that you knock me off my feet? That's Knock Me Up. And then there was also You and I. You and I were meant to be together, baby. Can't you see that you're the only one for me? Yeah. There's also Don't You Know, is another track. Baby, don't you know that I really love you so, that I never let you go, that yeah. So those were the very powerful love songs that these guys dished out back in the late 90s. Especially Knock Me Off. The Knock Me Off song was a huge track. It was a banger back in the 90s, back in the late 90s, between 98 to 99, even to 2000. It was more like the biggest song in the country. Though retrospectively, when we look at the groups that were making waves back then, it was both Plantashun Boiz and Remedies that were really making the waves. Plantashun Boiz, which includes Two-Face Idibia, Blackface Naija, and Phase, which later went their separate ways and then went on with their solo careers, were on one side, and then the Remedies, which consisted of Eddie Remedy, Idris Abdulkarim, and Tony Tetwila, were also on another side. On the other side, Remedies, and then they also dished out songs such as Miosha Komo Adimi Shayula You. Yeah, so they were big, quite big too back in the 90s, and then they were majorly the biggest competitors when we talked about musical groups, because back then musical groups were more popular. It was quite popular back then for guys to go into groups before they will start out with their musical career. It was easier to break out from a group back in the day than to start off with a solo career personally. It wasn't that easy back then. It's more easier nowadays, but back then you had to start with a group before you could be recognized, and then once you've gained your popularity, you can then branch out and then start your own career as a solo artist. Yeah, so that was it. So I believe this whole prelude or retrospection that I did right now was quite necessary, because we couldn't have known Two-Face without the Plantashun Boiz and then the group that I started with, and the songs that they sang, through which they stole our hearts, back in the late 90s all the way to the early 2000s. And then it was a very memorable period, especially for their most popular track or song, which was Knock Me Off My Feet. I could remember vividly how around that period my mom was still very much alive, our mom was still very much alive, and I could remember the very last few months that she spent with us before she eventually passed away. This Knock Me Off track in 99 was always being played on the radio. There was no day that you turn on the radio that you will not hear the track Knock Me Off by Plantashun Boiz being played on the radio. It was just so big, it was that big. I know the Gen Zs who grew up in the Davido, Wizkid and Burna Boy era may now be able to relate, but those who grew up in the 90s and the 80s will know what I'm talking about. So that was it. And then there comes year 2004, and then we heard that Two-Face was leaving Plantashun Boiz. At first it was a bit painful and heartbreaking for a lot of us who happen to be fans of Plantashun Boiz. We know what happened in the industry when a certain member of a musical group happens to be outstanding or a standout member. You see record labels, jostling to sign this standout member of this group and then invest into such a solo career. And that was what happened in the case of Two-Face. Kenny's Music, that was the biggest music record, the most prominent music label in the country back then, came for Two-Face Idibia, and then it brought about some controversy because the other members of the group were not happy. Like Phase even sang a number of songs addressing that issue, until after a while got over it. So that was the story of Two-Face breaking out of Plantashun Boiz and eventually starting his own solo career as a solo artist. Two-Face started his solo career signing with Kenny's Music, which to a great extent was a label that lasted for many years, and then had the privilege of producing albums for lots of great artists like the likes of Lagbaja, Tony Tetwila, Idris Abdulkarim, Eddie Remedy, Paul Playdairo, Asados, San Sultan, and even Two-Face Idibia later joined them. The list is long, but then the acquisition of Two-Face, so to say, by Kenny Music was a huge one. It was like the signing of Cristiano Ronaldo from Manchester United to Real Madrid back in 2009. It was crazy, the news was all over the place. The social media wasn't a thing back then, but then across the traditional media channels, the TVs and radios and newspapers, the news was covered by everyone, and it was a sensational event in the entertainment circle in Nigeria. And then I remember his very first track that we started listening to on radio was Right Here. Right Here was the title of his first track that was released in 2004, and it was produced by OJB Jazreal. The song is like, what I gonna do to make you see my love for you, Nari? Baby, he's right here. Come on, come on. Baby, he's right here. I don't pay for this game, maybe today. Yeah, and then it came out with Ifune Ibaga. Never give another man, yeah, wow. Then later on, he dropped Ole. I am calling you, Ole, cause you stole my heart away. Yeah, and later on, he dropped Get Your Vibe and Get Your Feeling. That's Keep On Rocking. Then he dropped You Know Holy Pass. Some people be acting like they know it all, but everybody know that people rise and fall. Some rise up again just to stand up tall. Rise and stronger. Yeah. And then the biggest of the hits of Two-Face was African Queen. Yeah, yeah, you are my African queen. Ooh la, ooh la. Yeah, you know, that was big to the point that a movie was produced in America titled Monique's Fat Girls. Two-Face's song African Queen was a major soundtrack on that movie Monique's Fat Girls, and it was all over the place. Two-Face was huge, was the biggest thing in the Nigerian music industry, and then he began to get awards, recognitions all over, and then girls began to flock in, and then he just wouldn't let this guy rest, and then we all knew what happened. But luckily for him, or kudos to him, that didn't in any way distract him, because he still went on producing more and more bangers as time progressed. In his successive albums, he was able to still dish out lots of beautiful songs that we all rocked on for years. Tu Baba was born on 18th September 1975 in Jos Plateau State, Nigeria, from Idoma descent from Benue State in central Nigeria. By 1996, he had already begun composing music and recording jingles, especially at the GB Fan Club at Enugu State Broadcasting Services (ESBS), operating under the stage name Two-Face. He said that the name was to demarcate his personal life from business life, though was later changed to Baba in 2016. While attending IMT, Two-Face Idibia began his musical career performing alongside Blackface Niger, his secondary school classmates, and Face, all of whom later formed the trio band Plantashun Boiz. The band released 2 albums, Body and Soul, in 2000, another album titled Sold Out in 2003 under Dove Records, a label owned by Nelson Brown. The band members separated in 2004, and Tu Baba returned to his solo music. Tu Baba released his debut solo album Face to Face in 2004, which was positively reviewed by music critics and was listed as the greatest Nigerian debut album of the 21st century by a solo artist. It was followed by his second album Grass to Grace in 2006. After that, he left Kenny's Music and established his own record label, Hypertech Digital. In 2009, he released an experimental album, The Unstoppable, with an international edition in 2010. The international edition won 2 awards at the 2010 Sound City Music Video Awards. You know, the longevity that Two-Face has experienced in the music industry is compared to none other person that, you know, in the era of the Two-Faces, the Daddy Showcase, the Remedies, all the way to this time. There has been no other person that has lasted out that long in the industry. This guy has been in the industry for at least 26 to 27 years now, and is still going on strongly. Though he hasn't produced any album lately. You know, the last album he dropped was in 2020, but then he's still very much, you know, relevant in the industry, and then anytime he drops a new tune, you know, everybody's trying to catch up with it. Yeah, so that's it about Two-Face Idibia. Sometime in 2017, Two-Face was going to organize a protest which was meant to be a protest against unfavorable policies by the administration of President Buhari back then. And then, according to the news, when the DSS got wind of this planned protest, he was threatened to put a halt to that protest or to put a stop to it, and then we had to cancel it. The reason they gave for telling him to put a stop to the protest was that the protest was likely to be hijacked by hoodlums, and that could cause a breach in security, and then he had to just cancel it. That was controversial, but then for his own safety and then well-being also, because if anything went wrong in that protest, they definitely will have come for him. So I wouldn't blame him. At least for personally, I'm gonna salute him for even putting up that courage to make the decision to want to spearhead such a protest against the president. Not against the president, against the unfavorable, harsh government policies that were apparently affecting the well-being and welfare of people of the country. So it's a big move. It's a commendable effort by him, but then he had to cancel it for his well-being and his safety also. I'm gonna be mentioning some of the awards that Two-Face Idibia has won, the big awards he's won in his musical career. They are as follows: MTV Europe Music Awards, World Music Awards, Headies Awards, Channel Ho Awards, BET Awards, MTV African Music Awards, which is also called MAMA, Music of Black Origin Awards, and Kora Awards. Two-Face Idibia was also honored with Headies Hall of Fame Award in 2015 and also Music Legends Hall of Fame in Ghana in 2022. He was also honored with Afrima Hall of Fame Awards alongside Awilo Lugumba in 2019, and he was honored also with an academic honorary award, which is that of a Master of Arts Awards in Igbinedion University, Edo State, Nigeria in the year 2016. Two-Face has had endorsements for brands such as Guinness, NAFDAC, Nigerian Stock Exchange, Airtel Nigeria, Globalcom Nigeria, Oraimo, Campari, and more. Two-Face Idibia got married to Annie Macaulay, his longtime girlfriend, in Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria in the year 2012, and a year later they had their big wedding in Dubai, United Arab Emirates in 2013, which was widely celebrated. And now for such a union to be coming to an abrupt end, it's not looking good at all. So a lot of people are angry. There's been a whole lot of criticism, especially considering the fact that he's now being seen around a new lady that he has come out to say he wants to marry next. Yes, so we actually do not want to dwell on the controversy surrounding his life currently, but we are just here to celebrate Two-Face Idibia, who has dished out a lot of beautiful music over the years. I remember in his second album, he also had tracks such as You See Me So, True Love, then If Love Is a Crime. He also sang No Shaking. My guy, now your eye go happen because it be like say it don't dey happen. No shaking, nothing dey happen, nobody want fire but they won't go heaven. Then one of my favorite tracks, apart from African Queen and Holy Pass, I love that track a lot because it's one thing for you to listen to the beat or to the beat of a song or how popular a song is. Another thing is to read through the lyrics and the message behind that song. The message behind Holy Pass is so heavy, so powerful that if you decide to listen so attentively, you learn a lot of things and then you grab some critical lessons from the things he was saying in that song. Another favorite of mine is One Love. All we need 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 is one love. Just the other day I saw on CNN. Yeah, so that's the track, but one of my all-time favorite was Raindrops. just like raindrops falling from the sky, just like teardrops falling for your eyes. It is like a blessing in disguise. Another song of Two-Face that I love like that. It be like say he sang. I think this was a song he dedicated specifically to politicians, political leaders back in 2007. Where he say, it be like say they want to tell me another story again, yo. It be like say they want to act another movie again, yo. Hey, it be like say they want to dance. Galala na the new dance again, ho ho. They want to go. All I wanna say is that they don't really care about us. It's a powerful song. So Two-Face, Idibia, generally has done a lot for us, musical wise, even in terms of preaching love and also sending messages to people in leadership and challenging them to do the right thing and then to rise up to the occasion and to transform the society rather than allowing evil to persist in the society. So much destruction and so much underdevelopment that people of the country experience. Stand up to doing what is right, and then he's done a lot for the culture. He has inspired and motivated the current crop of artists who are now doing it and are now getting so much recognition that wasn't there, that was never there prior to the time that the likes of Two-Face started this music thing. There wasn't that much recognition then, there wasn't much money compared to what these guys earn right now. The platforms, the various platforms through which the current guys make money now wasn't available back then. You had to actually sell albums and sell shows for you to make some significant amount of money. But the game has really changed in this time and age and this era so much that the guys who are on top now, like Two-Face, rather Wizkid, Burna Boy, Davido, Olamide, Asake, and the rest of them that are doing it now, Rema, that are doing well musically now, have tapped some inspiration from what Two-Face has done in the past, and the other guys back then, the Bunch, P-Square, and the rest of them, but today is for Two-Face specifically. So he has actually laid the foundation. People like him actually laid the foundation, literally laid the foundation for the coming generation, that is the subsequent generation of artists, which Davido, Wizkid, and Burna Boy falls into, and even for generations to come. We'll continue to mention Two-Face Idibia as a legend, as a pace setter, and as someone who's been there, done that, and then who has paved the way for the current crop of artists to also go on and leverage on the platform that they have opened up for other upcoming talents in the country. Yes, so that's that about Two-Face Idibia, and then it's all about celebration, and we celebrate you for what you've done for the culture, and then we hope that you get over your marital and also relationship issues that's currently being dragged all across social media and all across the traditional media outlets also. And I personally still look forward to hearing more bangers from you, because you've got the talent, you've got all it takes to produce some more wonderful sounds like you've done in the past. So that's that about Two-Face Idibia. Thank you all for your time for today. For those who have been supporting and who have been watching, who have subscribed to this channel, I say thank you so much for all the support. And for those who are joining this channel for the first time, I plead with you that you support us by subscribing and then hitting the notification button so that you are informed each time a new video drops on this channel. And let's grow together. And then please feel free to drop your comments and your observations about the life and career of Two-Face Idibia. Let's just celebrate him at this time. Enough of the bashing, enough of the backlash that's coming from the cross section of Nigerians across the nation and even across the world. there's been so much bashing, there's been so much criticism that has been directed at him for the decisions he's taken recently, but then let's just take out time to celebrate him, and I wish him all the best. So Two-Face Idibia, I wish you all the best in your career, even as you look forward to your 50th birthday celebration this year. We wish you all the very best, and then I wish you guys all the best ahead also. And please continue to stay safe, continue to love everyone around you, and then be good to yourself. Continue to be law abiding, and continue to be loving, and continue to be considerate of others in all your decisions and in all that you do. And share one love everywhere you go, because it is love that makes the world go round, not money. Money without love is almost useless. So share one love and keep it real. God bless you all. Have a lovely day and lovely week ahead. Thank you. One love. Bye.